Hello, everybody. Andy here from Glass Half Dead, the #1 kill team channel on YouTube. Unless, of course, you're aware of literally any other channel on YouTube. Hello, everybody. What's up? There is a kill team mystery. We all know it's coming in at Adepticon, which is happening today's Tuesday. So tomorrow? Well, time zones gets a bit funky. For me, it's actually 2 days away, but basically tomorrow. So the kill team mystery, we've been given a Warcom article which shows us various different patches on a jacket, a leather jacket. And is it aliens? Probably, yeah, because it's 40k. So today, in today's video, I want to talk about what we think is going to come for Kill Team versus what is probably coming for 40k. So the really exciting thing is that right now, for Kill Team, we have no credible rumors. Great, I love it. It means that in 2 days, I'm actually genuinely going to be surprised by whatever they announce, and that's really fun. I really like that. It has been a very, very long time since we've had no credible rumors, which is really cool. However, we do have a lot of rumors for 40k, for Age of Sigmar, probably other things too. And so by knowing the rumors for those, we can guess what the patches on here mean for Kill Team. There you go. So that's the fun. Of course, before we get into that, I would like to give a little bit of a subscriber only benefit, and that subscriber only benefit is a gigantic double hello. Wow, so wholesome, truly the wholesomest knows no bounds in the world of Glass Half Dead. If you want a double hello, consider using my affiliate links, but otherwise just subscribing would be awesome. In the UK, I use Element, Wayland, or Red October Games. Please use those. If you're in Canada, the Northern Citadel. If you're in America, Wargame Portal. All of this costs you nothing extra. And I get a little kickback. Great way to support your favorite YouTuber. If it's not me, use somebody else's. Just free money. But if you're a kill teamer specifically, do check out Crossfire or GG Easy. They're all-in-one systems. They both make some very interesting products. And if you use my affiliate links, that you get money off when you use them. I also have other affiliate links, by the way, in which you also get money off for other things. Do check out my link tree, and it will show all of those. Okay, let's firstly look upon what GW themselves have blessed us with. Also, hey, in case you aren't completely unaware, in 2 days, so 1 a.m. GMT, that's what I care about because I'm the one because that's when I'm going to have to do my videos. We are going to be getting a reveal show. It is going to be involving 40k, Sigmar, Horus Heresy, Kill Team, Underworlds, Middle-earth strategy battle game. Also, unfortunately. So, we know, or we can assume now, based on what the rumors are and the timing and what they've shown us here, that for 40k, we are going to be getting the 11th edition leaks. Rumors? No, not leaks. What? Teasers. That's the actual word when it's corporate sanctioned leaks. And so we're going to be finding out what we get for 11th edition. That is important for us as kill teamers because we know that for 40k, they have been strongly rumored by credible sources to be getting Blood Angels and Orcs as their new factions in the launch box. Knowing that they are getting Blood Angels and Orcs, we can then look at some of the patches we've got here and consider that maybe we aren't getting those for Kill Team. That's going to be a rumor in these patches format. For 40k, not for Kill Team. Now, before we dive into those, it is worth pointing out that maybe because we have no leaks, no rumors for Kill Team, they've actually gone really, really hard on doubling down on this is a big thing for Kill Team. Perhaps some of these patches are for Kill Team, and we are, as Kill Teamers, getting some variety of Orc or Blood Angel, right? That could be a thing. Space Marine. That could be a thing. However, because we have no rumors for that, I think that as Kill Teamers, it is safe to assume that we are not getting Orcs and we are not getting Space Marines. Now, not getting Space Marines is a big statement, I understand, of course. However, because there's no way to guess that that would be for Kill Team instead of 40k, there's no point talking about it. We also have rumors that Sigmar's being blown up. I'll talk about that in a moment. I'll talk about that in a moment because that's actually very interesting. Don't worry if you don't want to stay up to watch these live. Me and literally every other content creator on the world will be spamming your feeds with absolute slop where we say, oh, so amazing. Okay, really hard when they said that thing. So don't worry. If you miss it live, you'll be seeing it ad nauseum for the next week solid. So let's have a quick peek at what we have here. Do we have I, not that, not that. Okay. So here we go. I'll zoom in a smidge. So this is the jacket with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patches clearly visible. And then they've highlighted some more patches below, which presumably are the other patches on their bike. First things first, this symbol here is an orc symbol. So we can say that's probably not for Kill Team. And this here is also an orc glyph. That's not for Kill Team, as discussed. This has to be for Age of Sigmar, which I will discuss right at the end because most people don't care about my thoughts on Age of Sigmar. With this here, we don't quite know what this is. However, using fake Latin, it uses the word iron. And I forgot what the first word was, but ferrous is what GW uses to mean iron. So that could mean Iron Warriors or could mean the Iron Guard, which we'll talk about in a sec. But that's definitely an interesting thing. We then shuffled along to, this is one of the other patches. Now, this is a symbol. There you go. We obviously have the Imperial Aquila. And this skull and is in a cog, which again would lead one towards thinking about Iron Warriors or Iron Guard, perhaps. I don't really know what this A or pyramid is, to be honest. Maybe other people do. But this plus this are definitely leaning towards people thinking Mordian Iron Guard. Now, that is a very interesting thought to have. Let's discuss. And then there's also this one. I don't know what that is. There you go. I mean, let's be honest. That is kind of the problem with 40k. Everything has a skull and eagle wings on it, and it's all just made up bullshit about if it's X or Y. It's like, no, we've decided it means this now. Mordian Iron Guard are one of those factions that I have fond memories of from when I, got into the game. I actually had a squad of the bad boys, presumably these guys. And their big thing in 40k, it used to be that if they were base to base, then you got like you shoot twice or something like that. It's been a long time since I've cared about 40k rules or about Mordian Iron Guard having very specific rules that allow them to do something better if they were base to base. But obviously, that was kind of promoting the fact that they are very, in a sense, Napoleonic in their views or in their dress, and they're all about standing shoulder to shoulder, facing down the charge, and taking that. Now, with that in mind, the Iron Guard haven't really, as far as I'm aware, been explored outside of the fact that you will stand in a long line and you will die, which is, hey, very 40k. But how does that kind of come across to Kill Team? Kill Team, by its very nature, wants you to be very unconnected from each other. And forming a shield wall isn't really what you want to do in Kill Team. You want to have very independent units that do things in very interesting ways. However, a way that you could do that is very similar to what Navy Breaches does, which is, if you're within X of a model, you can then double activate. Something like that could be very thematic for them. I'm not saying that exactly. Obviously, Navy Breaches already have that. But some sort of when you are, when you have, oh God, is this going to be the rule? When another model, when another friendly is within 3 inches of a friendly, you get severe. There you go. I've just created the Mordian Iron Guard entire theme for Kill Team. Well done, me. Plus, of course, a whole bunch of cool specialists, and that'll be really cool. Nice. There you go. That is the current working theory because we all but know, sorry, that This and these are not for kill team. Look, I'd love it if we got orcs. Orcs would be great. I don't know if the Iron Guard Mordians have a specific um foe or nemesis. Perhaps it would be make sense to bring them in here with the Iron Warriors. That because that will give us our elite team, which is what GW likes to be doing at the moment, and that would be Chaos, and Chaos need another team. To be fair, that'd be quite fun. We'd have iron on iron action. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? And that's kind of it for Kill Team. It looks like we're going to be getting the Mordian Iron Guard. That is what the current GW sanctioned teasers hint towards. If we get orcs, that'd be sweet. Let's have a quick side note on Age of Sigmar. I'm not going to go into this too much because there's no point. You're not here for this. But the current rumor, which seems to be very well substantiated from what I can tell, is that Age of Sigmar is getting, I'm going to say, blown up. People are saying the end times for Age of Sigmar, and that's very poor marketing, but it's from content creators, so I wouldn't expect any better, of course. But blowing up the world, no, that's the wrong term, isn't it? Completely changing the world from what you've built for the last 10 years is a choice. I would definitely say it's a choice. Yes. And if I'm honest, I don't think it's a bad choice. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying this as someone that's very neutral about Age of Sigmar. There are some things about Age of Sigmar that I actually think are pretty cool and I really like. And then there are other things that I think are really bad. So I'm overall 50-50, very neutral on the whole subject. So I'm not rooting for it one way or the other. But it's definitely a way to go, which actually I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up doing quite well for the game in the long term. I really think that one of people's biggest issues with Age of Sigmar is that it's just a little bit too out there, and they've never had a particularly good way of selling it to people. Obviously, there's a lot of initial hate that still 100% lingers over the game by weirdos that get way too invested in things. But the game itself, I think, is better than 40k. But yeah, it's not a big stretch, is it? And being able to make it more approachable from a lore and world building perspective is, I think, the next logical step. How do you get more people into it? So many people love 40k for the lore. Well, you know what? People don't love the lore for Sigma. So why not change it? And we could possibly, possibly see this as a reaction to the fact that I've also heard it said that Age of Sigmar is going to become a bit more grimdark, like as opposed to, as some people term it, grim bright or whatever. That it's not, but that's fine. And perhaps the fact that they've seen Trench Crusade come out and really offer nothing other than, oh, we're grimdark, which is what 40k already offers. So I can totally see how GW might think, well, we've got the grimdark setting, let's try something else. But then you see how outrageously well Trench Crusade has done when it really has nothing backing it aside from grim darkness, and how much everyone's jerking themselves off over that grim darkness. How could you look at your own IP and say, oh, well, clearly we need to go more grimdark. We hadn't realized people love it that much, and that the grim darkness is itself a lure and a pull, and we didn't go into it. We deliberately leant away from it. And seeing that success and say, yeah, okay, let's just copy that. Trench Crusade tested the market because we, as GW, don't understand 40k at all, clearly. Like, that's just a ship they can't change. Trench Crusade comes out, shows that you don't need to offer anything other than grimdark bullshit. People love it. People eat it up. People love that slop. Let's just make our shit grimdark as well. Yeah, that's my take on it. On Age of Sigmar, which I don't think that's a bad thing. To be clear, I think, as I say, it is a good decision to get more people into Age of Sigmar. You've given it 10 years. It clearly has not clicked on an intimate consciousness level. There are, I mean, again, it is the second biggest war game in the world, as far as anyone can tell, so it's doing fine, but it's not doing 40k numbers. And then I can definitely see that Trench Crusade might have knocked their confidence in the way they're steering that ship, so to speak. Anyway, interesting stuff. If you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Wow, so wholesome. Do check out my affiliate links and my affiliate links that give you discounts. That'd be awesome of you. Thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow, no doubt, with me being very excited for the slop that GW shovels into our mouths. Thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye.